Alright guys, here's a quick little update video since it's the end of the week and I'm taking off here soon. Been pretty busy this weekend between this and farm work. I think I showed you guys this in my last video, but I got all the suspension mocked up and in. The cross member's in now. We're just going to put shocks wherever it fits up on here down to those brackets there, and it'll sit nicely. I also did the tank relocation today. We relocated it from inside of the cab to behind and below the bed. That is a 20-gallon, I believe it's a 20-gallon 67 Mustang fuel tank. That cross member right there is original. It has not moved. There was another cross member that went across here. That one's gone, and I just welded that one in there. It's the Crown Victoria pump and sending unit inside of the tank. It's low buck, I understand, and that's what the idea was. But I would highly recommend, if you're going to do this swap, to put an external pump in, because this is a pain in the ass. But I'm going to mount my control unit there. I got to seal up everything on that with silicone and dielectric grease so that it doesn't get any water in it. And then the wire is going to run through that cross member up and around in the tube and come back down. And the fuel line is going to run up into that line, or up into that frame rail and run up to the engine, just to keep it nice and clean. If you can't see any wires, in my opinion, it looks 10 times better. But that's just an opinion, I guess. Lots of guys do this online. You got to keep this last cross member bolt in, which is not a huge deal in my opinion. And then this fuel tank gets, well, it's self-tapping screws attached to a 1-inch square tubing frame, and then these bolts, the nuts are welded on the outside of the tubing, and these bolts, there's 4 of them on each side, and it just kind of stretches the frame across. No rattles, no shakes, nothing like that. If it wants to twist, it'll twist and it'll do its thing and it'll be completely fine. To do this mod on the Unibody frame, you will have to cut out a good little chunk of frame. I think it was between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, somewhere in that area. And we still have to go over it and grind it smooth because it's still just a plasmid finish. And then probably end up covering it with rad hose or something, just in case it wants to touch the tank. It's not going to wear its way through then. The filler neck is not vented. Put that back on there so it doesn't smell like fuel. It's not vented, but once we get the bed on, I'm going to put a marine filler in the bed, and I will modify that, and I'll probably end up brazing a little nub on it or something to put a vent line into it, just to make sure it doesn't expand the tank or anything. But I've got to make sure that that harness gets fixed because it's needing to be gone through. But that's where she's going to sit. The back of the frame is sitting about 22 inches off the ground at ride height once you add about 300 pounds. These are just the springs out of the Crown Victoria. That's all they are. If you have any questions, comment, subscribe, you know how the deal. Yeah, if anybody wants any information, don't be afraid to give me a shout. I think you can get my email on YouTube somehow. Just shoot me a message, comment. I'll probably be able to see it without an issue. All right, thanks guys.